Hi guys! In today's lesson we are going to be learning about character descriptions. Before we can start, we need to ask ourselves what is a character description? And I think those words in themselves tell you character, a person, and description when you describe something. So a character description is a piece of writing and it provides more information to the reader about that character, okay? So the more information is very, very important. It can be their physical appearance, so what they look like. It can be their personality, so what kind of a person they are, and also activities and stuff that they enjoy doing. When we describe a character, there's certain steps that we take. So we always start off with their physical appearance, what they look like, so that the people that you are describing to can actually picture that character in your mind. So if you're talking about the physique, which means the general outline of their body, you can say they are tall or they are chubby or long and lanky. It helps the reader to get more interested. If you just say, I saw a boy walking, you're going to lose your audience. If you say, I saw a long and lanky boy walking across the street, the more adjectives you use, you are pulling your audience in. Physical features, so basically what they look like on the outside with regards to their eye color, hair, any scars or features that they may have on their body, those sorts of things. But you're not going to just say blue eyes. You're going to say light blue eyes or beautiful bright blue eyes and long strawberry blonde hair. More adjectives so that we are able to picture the character a bit better. And then with regards to their voice, how do they speak? Are they aggressive people? So they always have an angry tone to them, or are they very squeaky and high-pitched? There's so many different ways that you can make someone understand your character so much more just by using the voice. The second step, the personality, is basically their feelings. So how they interact with other people or other characters in the story. Are they a kind person? So you know that all the other characters love that specific character. Are they mean or are they depressed and all those sorts of things? A recluse, meaning that they like to keep to themselves, and no matter how many people try to interact with them, they keep pushing them away. That's a very common type of character that you'll find in a lot of movies and books and stuff, where eventually the recluse comes out at the end because of all the interaction with all the other characters. The background and the home, that means what has happened to them in their life to shape the character that they are and where they've lived and where they have lived in the past. So, for example, if the character comes from an underprivileged home, you could say that they are living in an orphanage, or you can say that they've come from an underprivileged home and now they are a successful businessman because all of the things that they dealt with as a child has shaped them into just wanting to succeed and working incredibly hard. So there's lots of different ways and reasons why background and the home are important to expressing your character to the audience. Then actions. That means basically what does your character do in the story? So what is their role, and then also the manner in which they move. So are they the main character, or are they just on the sideline? Are they the hero of the story, or are they the bad one? And when they move, you would say if it's a lovely person or a beautiful person, you could say she walked gracefully. But if it's a horrible person, you can say he used to stomp around wherever he goes. In your mind, you can picture immediately this angry man stomping around. So again, the actions of the character help us to imagine the character a lot more. Over here, we have a character description of the Gruffalo, and I'm going to read it with you, and I've got it on the screen. Even though this is listening and speaking, I have it on the screen because I want you to understand how we identify the important aspects of a character description, but also you've listened now to all of the other little steps of defining or describing a character. So we start off with the Gruffalo. It is a very, very common book. A lot of people have read it. If you haven't, you need to, because it's really, really awesome. And it goes as follows. So we've got the Gruffalo, very important. We've got our title, so we know who we are introducing and who we are describing. So it says here, the Gruffalo has two large curved horns. So we have these two large curved horns. They didn't just say two horns or curved horns, two large curved horns. It explains it so much more. On the top of his head, he has bright orange eyes and a slimy black tongue. So you can see these beautiful orange eyes. Now, although we can't see his tongue, the fact that they used the adjective slimy, you can immediately imagine, ooh, how gross it would be to touch the Gruffalo's tongue. The Gruffalo has an enormous poisonous wart on the end of his nose, and it's his wet nose. So you can imagine, you can see that, ew, that gross little wart on the end of his nose there. And running down his back are sharp, pointed prickles. Okay, all the way down his back over here, he's got these pointy prickles, which is quite strange for a furry character. His claws are sharp as razors. Okay, some nice metaphors and similes going on here. Sharp as razors. But his teeth are blunt as brittle. You can see he's got little stompy teeth. Why do you think he's got stompy teeth? Maybe he's eaten too many things, or it makes it quite scary because you think if his teeth aren't sharp anymore, he must have eaten a lot of people or children. His fur feels soft as cotton wool, but it's matted and it's tangled. So that means obviously he's not brushing his hair in the morning, right? He has knobbly knees and turned out toes. So he's got these huge knobbly knees over here. His feet are gigantic and he stomps through the forest whilst swishing his long tail. So feet gigantic, stomps through the forest while swishing his long bushy tail. Here we've got an example of action, right? How he moves and where he's moving to and the manner in which he's walking with the stomping. Okay, the animals are scared of him because he is so terrifyingly large. Okay, now in this specific character description, there's nothing really about his personality as such, but I think just the fact that we have things like terrifyingly large and that he stomps, we can kind of get an idea that he might not be the friendliest character in that book. We're going to go on to an activity now. I want you to try and do this with me. So, looking at this gorgeous young gentleman over here, I want you to see if you can help me describe this character. So the first thing I've told you is that we first look at physical appearances. So we can say that he is bright red. We can say that he has large yellow eyes. Or we could even say golden, because golden's a really nice adjective to use. We can say curly blonde hair. Okay, and there are so many other aspects with regards to physical appearance that we could do. I mean, we could say buck teeth, they stick out, and small squidgy little ears, and short stompy arms. Those, we can use all of those, but he does look like a very friendly little man to me. If we move on to personality, I would say he looks maybe cheeky. He could be shy, so we'll say here cheeky, but he's also shy. He looks like he could be quite kind. And he just looks like a really fun guy to me. He looks really awesome. And then if we say personality, not personality, or his actions and stuff, he looks to me like maybe he walks really slowly, and he's very gentle and cautious or very sneaky. So you can say he's a sneaky little man, he walks slowly and carefully and things like that, just to kind of describe the character, especially being cheeky and sneaky and all of those things. And then his relationship with others, we could say that he's well liked by the other characters because he's very charming and very kind and cute and whatever, but some characters do get annoyed with him because he's always teasing them and messing around and being cheeky. So any of those sort of things, you can just say well liked and so on. But obviously, when you physically write your character description in paragraph form, you're going to use a lot more adjectives and you're going to use a lot more description. So here on the last slide, I've got this gorgeous little furry fellow. And by yourselves, whenever you get the chance, you're going to sit and write your own little character description about him. And remember, physical appearance, personality, actions, and relationships with other characters, and just, be as creative as you possibly can. The more adjectives you use, the more interesting it's going to be, and people are going to want to listen to more. So, being creative is just the most magnificent thing you can do. Just go for it, just try, you can't be wrong, because it is your own idea and it's your own imagination, and that's what it just makes it so special. And I want you to look here very carefully. It says here, the youngest sibling is usually the most good-looking and the smartest. So here we have described the youngest sibling. And just so you know, I'm the youngest sibling in my family. I hope you have an amazing day, guys. Until next time, bye.